so if we're just at the tavern.
Are we at the tavern or are we going on our way back?
I'm talking about on your way back. You're on the way back
back
from Mindenbrook. I've got to open this up and close it because otherwise things won't work properly. Okay.
Wait, so we're headed to Mindenbrook?
Yes, you've left the caves and you're heading back to Mindenbrook.
As we're walking then, I'm gonna go, aren't we walking west right now?
As opposed to what?
Well, we could... Is there a reason we're going back to Mindenbrook? Could we just, walk east? Did we leave anything behind?
Just the father of a boy who will not be returning, unfortunately.
Well, that doesn't matter. Boy's dead.
And as we're walking, I'm gonna just every once in a while with my staff, I'm just gonna kind of like reach forward and just kind of like hit Emlyn in the back of the head with it. Be like, Emlyn, do you feel that? Is it a pain? Is it a pressure? What sensation does that give you?
I know you're hitting me.
All right. Thank you for the information. And I'll continue to talk with Tolgar. Well, he did say that Polthund went with often that direction, did he not? The devil, I mean.
Try tripping him, Emlyn.
What? No, it's all right.
I'm just gonna turn and give Tolgar a death stare.
They've got an Emlyn toy.
Because you're dead. All your stares are death stares.
Oh.
All right, cool.
Look for inspiration for that joke, chat.
It's just so easy. Oh my god.
I already apologized for killing you. Please do not stare at me like that.
Yes,
No, I was in a bind.
Emlyn, for the record, I did not have any part of deceasing you.
You didn't seem to...
So just remember that. Let the record show I did not play into devil's fun and games at the expense of one of my valued friends.
What was that hesitation there?
None of this matters anymore.
The hesitation was I was going to call you my party members, but then I thought, no, Thelonious. They are what they are. They are your friends now. So I changed it to reflect as such.
Apology. Don't apologize. I don't care.
I'm not apologizing. Oh, Tolga, of course.
It means nothing to me.
No, I just apologize that you're dead. I don't regret doing it, as I have a new power that I'm excited to find out what it is.
Yes, were you given some sort of an activation word or a move you had to do to bring out this power? I'm curious to see.
Nothing.
Yeah, the devil did say...
The reason I'd like to go back to town is, frankly, I've lost a few arrows in the last several times I've run around shooting things, and I didn't quite think to pick them back up, especially after...
Do I still have any arrows in me? Because I don't remember extracting them.
They're probably there.
Oh, you probably have I think, how many times do you plug him? Like 3 times? Twice?
Twice.
Yeah, you probably still got 2 arrows sticking out of your body.
So I'm just going to reach over and just pluck them from my body and like hand them. There's 2.
Check the tips and make sure they're still good, and I'm just going to be like... Huh. They're just as soft as they look.
Yeah, they're fine. I mean, they came out of a perfectly dead Emlyn, so
Okay. Good arrows. +2.
It's the ones that miss and hit the wall that are not necessarily any good anymore.
So then just a quick replenish back, and then we leave to the east to follow the lead of the devil so thoughtfully gave us.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Right.
I would say, though, you might not want to go into town as much as maybe stop by and camp on the outside.
Yes, if anybody else need anything in town, I for one do not. I am ready to go. Tolga, Emlyn, nothing? Maybe you could just run into town, sneak in as you do, Kyla, and get what you need?
At a good price.
Give me a shawl or something to cover my face.
Do we have to do that thing where we dress up as women again?
You're killing PJ.
You remember.
I wasn't intending to.
Yeah, why would Kyla want to dress up as a woman?
This is just in case I come across any people on the road.
It's not a bad thought. I'm going to very sadly take off the cloak that I stole from that guy.
Oh, okay. The cloak with all the gold filigree and all that stuff on it, the expensive one. Ooh.
I'm just gonna like hold it up and look at the one he's wearing. That's probably all torn up and gross at this point.
It's a purple robe with a hooded part.
Yeah.
Several arrows through it and a whole.
It's bloody and probably torn too. You gonna hand it to me?
Oh, it's gonna stink.
I think he's trying to decide.
See, you already removed it though, right?
Yeah, I know. I have it off. I'm just holding it and looking at you.
Yeah, I'm snatching it from you, and I'm just gonna don it like without words. Just cover my face so it's just my eyes, my black eyes, which were black anyway, right?
So you've like pulled it up over your head?
Well, I already have a hooded part, so I'm kind of just complementing it with
okay, all right.
a higher, I don't
Scarf
know.
action.
Scarf.
So you're not really putting the
his
cloak
body's
on
not
like a
generating
cloak, you're
heat.
kind of wrapping it over your face and stuff?
Little
Yeah.
EDM.
So you're accessorizing then, essentially.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Yep.
Oh, up in your style game, Emily. I like it.
The thing is, like, he can wear as many layers as he wants at this point. It's not gonna make him sweat.
Oh, you're so lucky.
True.
You're so
He'll
lucky.
just start oozing other things.
True.
I'll see if I can find something better in town. While I'm there.
Okay,
that
we
hurts.
set up
Okay.
camp.
I'm just gonna start.
Okay, so you guys are going to kind of camp on the outskirts of town, and just Kyla's going to head into town?
Yeah, I don't have any reason to go in there myself.
Okay. Alrighty. Then where do you want to head to, Kyla?
What time is it when we arrive?
Probably about mid-afternoon.
Okay. I'm trying to remember where the stores is at. I don't know if I ever found out. I'll take a walk around until I find somewhere that looks like it would be a Fletcher's or
Alright, okay.
listen for the clanging of hammers.
Right, well, when you first came into town, you did indeed meet that elven fellow who said his name was Quinn Silverleaf, who apparently he was a Fletcher.
That
So,
is a place.
yeah, so, I mean, obviously you don't necessarily know where he lives. How do you
walk
want to
off
go
the
about
lake.
finding out?
Me walk off in like this direction when we all met up in the middle there.
What direction is that?
Oh, I pinged it, but I don't know if it. So like we had our little thing here, and then like I think it went that way.
Yeah,
when we went.
okay, alright.
So I'd probably head over that way.
Alright. Okie dokie.
Nuts.
Alright, so, yeah, you pass a large building on your left that, obviously you can hear a large amount of horses and stuff neighing outside. Continue along. Eventually, yes, this building here on the right has a sign hanging over it. That would probably, the way you can kind of see the bow and the arrow through it, would indicate it probably is indeed a Fletcher's.
That's probably where I'm gonna head.
Okay. All right. Okay. Walking through the door, it's a fairly simple store. In fact, it's not so much a store, more than just a fairly empty room. There are numerous bows, short bows, long bows, composite bows up on the wall. On a counter in a glass case are a variety of different types of arrows, from longbow, straight arrows, to bodkins, you name it, he has them. When you walk in there, he's actually in the process of planing what appears to be a long shaft of wood, no doubt a future bow in the making. Right. Without kind of looking at you, he just, yes, can I help you?
Oh, you don't remember me then. Guess I just don't have one of those faces. Hello. I would like to make perhaps several purchases.
Ah, excellent. And I do indeed remember you. I saw you were in the town centre maybe several days ago. I'm glad you
Apologize
finally
for my
have found
haste.
reason to come and see me.
So I'm hoping maybe, to find a few things in town. But first I need to resupply some arrows.
Excellent. And what kind would you be looking for?
Okay, the nerd in me says bodkins. Bodkins are cool looking. But piercing would probably just be better in general. Just fit for a longbow. What are your rates?
Well, it entirely depends on what it is that you seek. I sell more than just plain arrows fit for individual bows.
Right. How do I say this without sounding odd? Something to defend myself, perhaps, against someone with maybe several layers of armor?
Oh, something that pierces armor. I do indeed have some arrows, that I would say are more than adequate for the purpose. Carefully crafted. Each one, of course, takes quite a long time. How many would you be interested in?
I wouldn't want to bother you depleting your stocks here.
Well, I
But,
can always make more. They are for selling, after all.
Yes. So how many are in-house right now?
Let me see. And he kind of looks down under his counter.
He rolls a die.
I have just over a dozen, it would seem.
I'd quite like the lot. A lot of those.
Very well. And he gets them out and starts counting them. He says, there are 16 all told.
Okay. And I might need an additional quiver then to carry what I'm thinking. This is going to be expensive. Perhaps a thick quiver for them.
Oh, not at all. I myself don't prize and work so much with leather to make quivers, but I do have a few in stock that a local individual has made for me to resell.
I figured. So one of those would be nice. Let's say, again, how do I make this sound? Not so, something that would say quite like these. And I'm going to pull out one of the bolts with the channel for the poison, essentially, and just be like something that would maybe hold something on it.
Ah, I see. I believe I have a few of those, but not many.
That's fine.
I have half a dozen.
I'll take those as well.
All right. So let me see. So half a dozen of these. They are 3 gold pieces a piece. That'll be 18 gold pieces. Then 16 of these. That would be 80. The price is not cheap, I'm afraid. My craftsmanship is exquisite, and I expect to be paid handsomely. The total price would be just shy of 100 gold pieces. 89. Oh, sorry, 88. No. 98, all told.
Well, which is it? Just
98.
quote me on 3 different numbers, eh?
Yes,
You had
3
my
gold
hopes up at
pieces
88 there.
each for the grooved arrows, and 5 each for the armor piercing.
Right.
If this is indeed way too expensive for you, I can sell you
trust me,
just
it's
more
not.
common target arrows.
I see you're planning a bow. Do you mind if I take a look at those for a minute?
Oh, by all means.
I'm gonna look over his bows and see if anything catches my eye as possibly better than the thing I've been carrying? For years?
Probably everything he has is better than what you have. But yeah, I mean, he has just, some nice, well-crafted but somewhat plain longbows. But he also has some that seem to be very ornate and altogether much more exquisite.
So I could get myself a nice one. Is this the whole set here?
It is everything that I currently have available.
I'm just gonna pick off one that looks pretty alright. And give it a good feel.
Alright. Yeah, I mean, you've basically, his best quality longbows standardized go for about 75. He has one that looks like it's probably of master worked quality. That as you are looking at it and stretching the arrow out, he says, I am asking 350 gold pieces for that one.
Okay. Do you happen to have, on request, just, maybe a stretch of cloth? Just sitting around the shop that you're not too attached to?
I suppose I could find a scrap. Why would you ask?
Just something, for a friend is, very sensitive to the sun, would like something to cover the face.
Oh, perhaps I could throw something in if you're making a purchase?
That would be swell. Okay, so, yes to it all. I'm gonna take the bow and put it on the counter with all the arrows and stuff.
Well, this is indeed a splendid day. 350 gold pieces for the master-worked crafted bow, and 98 gold pieces. So, 448 gold pieces, please.
Okay. So it's 100 gold to a platinum, right?
No, you
No?
wished.
No?
10.
Okay. I don't know how to...
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, it's 10? Okay. So I've got 5 of those. So that's 50 right there.
Pissing away the party's entire wealth on a bow and arrow for himself. I love it.
And then I started with...
You be rolling, be aiding.
I love it.
No, you have to do these things sometimes, okay?
Sometimes.
How much was the total?
448.
Oh yeah, that's easy. Okay.
Wow.
Because I never put the
Got the
money that I
brains
picked
trapped.
up there, so... And no, I still got quite a bit. Okay, so... Okay, yep. I pay the due.
All right. He meticulously counts every coin. And then says, It is a pleasure to do business with you, young lady. I trust the bow and the arrows will serve you well.
You'd better hope. And then I'm just gonna walk out.
All right. Okie dokie. All right. Well, the bow basically, with the bow itself, will infer +1 damage to any missile that you fire from it, and the armor piercing arrows will basically add +1 to hit, which is in effect the lowering the amount of roll required to penetrate the armor. So.
Sweet.
Awesome. Yep. And then I'll go rejoin.
Obviously, they're not magical, but they are. They have a quality about them.
I'm going to go ahead and, as I'm passing by, I think like the inn, I'm going to inquire for just a quick, nice hot meal, and then I'm going to go rejoin the party.
Okay. Yeah, and the bowyer, Mr. Quinn Silverleaf, he basically gives you a long stretch of cloth. It's only about probably 2 inches thick, but it's long enough to where it could be wrapped around numerous times.
That's ideal. He's a little mummy boy. It's perfect. All right.
Little mummy boy.
They did mummify goats sometimes.
All
Usually
right.
cats, but goats too.
Okay, so you're probably gone no more than about an hour and a half.
Yep.
When you emerge outside the gates of Mindenbrook and make your way back up to where your party is gathered.
We're in luck. They happen to have arrows. That was convenient. And this, I'm just gonna throw the thing at Emma.
I'm gonna take it, look at, kind of touch the one that I'm wearing that you gave me previously, and then throw what you bought back to him, to her, and be like, "This is more sufficient. Let's go."
But it's all like heavy and. Okay.
Heavy? It's not heavy at all.
It's a heavy cloak. Like, how do you wrap that around your
Yeah,
head?
but he's dead. What does he know?
Yeah.
What does he know about weight?
It seems that the power the devil gave you was a heightened sense of style, Emlyn. I'm impressed. Very good.
I'll
We
take
go with
back my cloth.
Okay.
And
It's
If
time
you ever
head
decide to
east.
make a bow, it would make a very nice hand, very nice hand grasp.
okay.
All right.
I don't like this new
Eastwards then is where you want to travel. Okay. Well, you know it's 2 days following the road back to the foothills, but you have not gone beyond the hills. So
yeah, we're gonna go the direction, the lead that the devil gave us, and
yeah, I mean, all he basically told you was it was east. And does anybody remember where he told you to go?
I do.
Do you remember, or did you write it down?
Shadow of Morden's Hollow to the tower. That's what I wrote.
Alrighty. There you go.
Bravo! I threw out my napkin, so I
Don't have any notes,
Shadow of Mordor's Hollow.
right? Yeah. Where there's a great eye burning atop a tower. No plagiarism here, folks. Alrighty.
Welcome to the town, Originalia.
Originalia. There you
Rumor
go.
has it, this is the first town ever.
Yep. I wonder if in D&D world they have multiple churches named the First Church of Pelor. And there's actually hundreds of them.
or if there's like a Middletown of every little area.
Well, there
Because
you
there's
go.
always a Middletown somewhere.
And every town is an MLK Drive, yeah. Alrighty. I'm scouring notes here real quick. Okay. So yeah, you travel a good 2 days in the direction of the hills that you came from before. You're familiar with this road. And then, of course, you get to the point where you went down into the valley, but the road kind of veered off a little to the north and looked like it kind of went and wound through several of the lower peaks of hill. Do you want to try to trek over the hills themselves, or do you want to follow the road?
Do the hills look treacherous, or does it look like we could
Those
easily...
hills look treacherous. No.
That is a funny ass
there's,
question.
there's a little devil on top of one of the hills saying, "Come this way, I'll kill you."
What level is the...
I mean, treacherous is an abstract concept, really. I mean, clearly the road would be a much easier path to take.
Don't do easy paths. We take the...
But if
take
you
the
want to
hill.
wade across the rolling hills in an
it-
eastwardly direction, you can certainly do that.
It also might be safer to stay off roads, as we have a decomposing corpse here now. Might save us a few questions. Just a thought.
The same could be said for us taking the road, because you're going to be joining me soon.
I thought you were going to say same could be said for you and make an age joke. I thought that's where you were
I like
going.
that better.
I do
Right.
too, actually.
just stating facts. You will be the next to die of us.
Oh, so factual now, Emlyn. Ugh.
I sure hope so.
So I lead the party through the hills.
All right, okay. Wandering across the rolling hills you go. All right, well, it takes you little more than a day. The hills aren't particularly treacherous. They're not particularly steep or difficult to climb. It's kind of like grassy, rolling hills. Eventually, as you kind of come up and over the other side, you can see the road curving back in front of you and stretching off ahead to the east. You probably may have saved yourselves a few hours by going straight over as opposed to following the road.
Every hour is
Look what
important,
I have
Simple
accomplished. I gave you back 2 hours of your life.
There you go. Except in your case, Emlyn.
I would make a joke, but that's not Emlyn's character anymore. You bastards.
Undeads can joke too.
Yeah, just make like a skeleton joke.
Well, I think we'd have to present it to him as essential to the party's needs that he makes jokes.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd have to explain to him
Actual
why it's
joke.
necessary and what a joke actually is and how it works.
I'm sure Thelonious would love to explain that.
Maybe at some other time. Right now we're going over mildly treacherous hills, so I want to focus on the task at hand.
Do I see any towers in the back in the far east with my eagle eyes?
Yep, it was right over the hills the entire time. Just there.
Ever. Take
Yeah, no. The road stretches out across the open plains ahead of you. You can make out what might be some woodland in the far distance. There's woods to the north of here. But other than that, it's mostly just grassy open plains. And a fairly plain but simple dirt road that leads eastward from your position.
Okay, dirt road it is, unless anyone objects. I'm going to look at everyone harshly.
Any objections here? Lead the way.
Won't, and one who might but won't.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Alrighty.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. East we go. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Question, did you guys have horses or were you on foot?
This is horses.
Well,
No,
you
we were
had
on
horses.
We were
You're on foot, aren't you?
On foot, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had horses. We gave them away for a
Yes.
boat
that's what I thought.
Oh,
that
yeah.
we didn't even get to keep.
We got ripped off, didn't we?
Yeah, we should have just stolen the horses in town.
Dang it.
Alright, okay.
Sometimes you make mistakes.
Yeah, you do. Alright, let me go ahead and move you guys along to where you're supposed to be. Okay, so it's late evening as you're kind of following the dirt road. The hills you're pretty much exiting the hills. You can see a sparse crop of trees up ahead off the road to the left, and what appears to be a campfire with some shadowy silhouettes all gathered around the fire. And Winter Christmas, thank you for the kind donation. Very much appreciate that.
Winter. Thank you
Dude,
so much.
coming on strong, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Strong. All right, just buying a cheap $5 lunch for everybody. Keep on being awesome.
Yeah,
And much love to you all for
sandwiches.
getting me into D&D. You are
Turkey
welcome,
sandwich.
and thank you for that.
Turkey
Welcome
sandwich.
to D&D.
So thank you. That we appreciate it, dude. Much love.
Sandwich for us is a sandwich for you.
Can
All
I
right.
see, with my eagle totem, a little closer about any details on this group of people?
You can see that they're definitely individuals. You can count about 6 of them.
Okay.
You can make out that they're all kind of robed and wearing kind of hooded attire. Other than that, not really much more, no.
Alright, I'm gonna stop the party. Shh, shh, shh. Ahead. 6 of them.
Let me make sure I've got the scale right on this map, incidentally. Hold on.
Ahead, 6 of them.
Could we
Without-
all see
without the
these
voice
people,
crack.
by the way?
What you
I don't
guys
know.
can
I hope
see
so.
basically is a campfire amongst trees.
Okay.
And some shadowy silhouettes around the campfires that would lead you to believe that there's people there. Quantity, no. You know.
Right, Tolgar, you get this one.
And I'm gonna. So we can move this way.
Why don't we just walk past them?
Yes, we're gonna try. Okay. That was my plan.
But the road is here.
Off the road.
We don't need any unnecessary encounters, Eminence. So we just see if we could just go by, minding our own business.
All right.
Yeah. So we're gonna kind of quietly walk along. You know, the other side of the road.
Okay. Just trying to avoid direct confrontation.
Yeah.
Alrighty. How far are you from here?
So far.
Like the furthest distance you can possibly imagine that is.
All right. Do you guys have any kind of light sources, or? I mean, up until now, it would be fair to assume that you may not have had because it hasn't been that dark. It's now starting to get dark, so.
I don't have any lights.
Not yet.
Well, you don't need one. Tolgar doesn't really need one.
Yeah, I would say when it starts to get night, if we do start traveling, I would probably pop dark vision on so I could see where I was going.
Okay. And Kyla, SOL.
I'll just be careful.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, you can continue to move in that direction. You're far enough away to where if you're not actively making a noise, you don't really need to do any. Okay, but you can hear them all kind of mumbling and talking. You hear something about like certain words. Obviously, you're too far away, really, to. None of you have any kind of special hearing abilities, right? Nothing that would lead you to be able to overhear anything.
No.
I have a hearing aid, so that's like what, +3? Just turn it up? No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Then, yeah, you hear a couple of things. You know, periodically, you hear the word Pyremus mentioned, and they all seem to say it at like one of them. It's almost like a Catholic thing, to where one of them says something about the Pyremus, and they all say, "Oh, Pyremus," like all together. You also hear something about Saint Cuthbert, and Mayaheen. Anybody that's got religious, any kind of
I do.
Let's see. If you want to make a religious knowledge check, you could.
The dead person rolled the first 20.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
But
Okay. All right. So, what do you know about what they're discussing? Okay. So, well, you know who Saint Cuthbert is, right? So we're not going to worry about that.
Wait, don't tell me again. No, go ahead.
All right. So Mayaheen is a god very similar to Saint Cuthbert. Who is over? It's a lesser god, or goddess actually, that is over protection and justice and valor. And the other one, Pyremus, that you heard, that's a little bit more sinister. You would probably know a little bit more about that one. Just because you're... Okay, so Pyremus is pretty much revered by murderers, assassins, people that use poison. Also has an influence on fire. But is generally considered not the sort of deity that normal people should go to church to sing the praises of.
Okay.
Whereas Cuthbert and Mayaheen, of course, are much more bloody do-gooders.
All right. So at that, I'm gonna wait for Kyla to catch up to me.
Which I'll do and look at you like, is he all right?
They are talking about a god of murder and poison.
Yes.
Something that you might like.
This is the Tower of Murder.
I'm gonna keep walking. Like, that's it.
Okay.
Gonna look at the party and be like, oh, that's right, my soul's bound to a demon to carry this through. And then I'm just gonna keep walking.
Okay, as you're kind of like watching them, you notice that one of them is kind of like pulls over what appears to be some kind of hand cart and approaches it. And you can't really see what he's doing, but the motions would indicate he just lifted the lid on something. And then you see him kind of reach inside and begin to take out objects and pass them to his friends. Again, from this distance, you couldn't really tell what those objects were.
That's just rogue bait, isn't it?
Rogue bait.
Hold on, fellas. Here, we might, there might be some reason, perhaps, to give him a good talking to as I pat my bow.
Eager to try it out like a kid with a new toy.
It's just a bunch of people in robes. That doesn't look like they're anything important.
Oh, but they got stuff.
What do they have?
Perhaps something magical, I wouldn't know.
No, don't try to goat me into doing this. I will not fall for that.
Wait, did
Could
you
be
say
something
goat you into
magical.
doing this?
No, I said goat me into doing that. Goad.
Goat, yes.
No, goad.
Like Emlyn.
No.
Like Emlyn.
Oh, yes.
I could try out my new powers.
Yes, and how do you suppose to do that, Olga?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I could be provoked and then to kill them and see if something happens.
They are not relevant to our mission.
Thank you. At
What
least
they have might help us.
I mean, they're just murderers who worship a god of murder.
They might have murder tools or
Murder tools.
murder aids. I don't know.
Murder magic?
Don't take that one out of context.
So, I mean, as you're having this discussion, okay, you see one of them begin to kind of wave his arms in a circular fashion, lift his arms high, and then, almost as if he's flicking something out of his hands, suddenly the flames go and become kind of purple and orange and like with a golden hue, and begin to kind of like almost dance. Like there's a fire below it, but then there's actually like flames dancing about 1.5 feet above the fire.
I'm gonna start walking towards it.
Topak.
Yes!
Don't.
We're not going to stop him.
I can't. You'll
Oh,
kill
no.
me.
All right. Okay, as you get closer and closer, you hear,
Sorry, Topak. I was trying to...
and since Cuthbert slew Mayaheen in a fit of rage and anger, it is ripe for Primeus's followers to rise once more. To Corthan we shall go.
Oh, dang it.
Can I see what they're holding any better?
They all seem to be holding what appears to be some kind of vial or container at this point.
I'll drink it. Die, like...
See, how far are
Okay.
you away at this point? Go away, turn order. About 60 feet. Okay.
I'm gonna look to Thelonious and be like, "You could just fireball them." They're all around the fire.
Yes, but I'm not just going to do it willy-nilly. That's not how I operate.
Will operate differently.
No.
Willy-nilly.
And just kind of to them, just be like, they just mentioned something about Cuthbert killing someone and how they're taking the lead. They're going over to Corthan. It looks like they're starting a cult.
So what?
So let them go.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's spreading discord. We might want to stop our giant,
Yes, Tolga! Tolga!
And please get
Do I
to
hear
that.
this?
Well, I don't know. Are you saying it loud enough to where he could actively hear it?
Yes, I'm saying, Tolga, get over here.
All right.
Oh no. Awkward.
Hold on.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
That would have been pretty scary if it was
Oh,
a
well,
20.
there's a bunch of them.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, man.
Just roll 6 times.
It's 2 each.
Yeah,
and
I'm
that's
just
not
gonna,
even hard to-
There's an old man yelling over there.
All right, let's see here.
Does anyone else hear an old man shouting Tolgar Tolgar? Ooh.
No, no one hears.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
And how is that? 1, 2, 3.
One more.
Ooh.
Okay.
That
Well,
sucks.
most of them apparently did not hear, but one of them says, "Shh! Did you hear something?" "Oh, it was little more than the whispering on the wind, I am sure. No, I thought I heard voices." And with that, they all start. You can kind of see them all beginning to like scour into the distance.
Standing in the open, staring at them.
Well, everybody else is pretty much tucked behind a tree, but there is this monster of a man standing by the edge of the road,
But it's
all by
dark
himself.
out, you know? Maybe.
Yeah,
Not that dark.
I mean, it's as I said, it's not to the point where you guys need light to see. So at that range, so is that somebody? I don't know.
You just see.
Is there somebody there in the dark? Come forth, friend, and share our fire.
Are you really doing like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Is that what you're doing with the flexing?
That
would be so cool.
Come on, guys. And then
As they
it's
say that,
towards
you notice
the
all
end.
of them are like, and they all kind of like
Ah!
put their whatever it was in their hand. They've all just tucked it inside their shirts or inside their tunics and robes.
Okay. Cool.
Yes, friend, come forth. You may share our fire. We have a delicious stew on the boil. You're welcome to partake. And dare I say, we have some spirits to help warm you against the cooler weather.
I kind of walk forward and say, I saw the fire dance multiple colors.
Oh, yes. This one kind of moves over to the side to give you room to sit down. Oh, it's a little more than a trick. Nothing more than a spriggans of charcoal and lavender. No.
I'm a big fan of that.
Melonia's just misty steps right up there.
But yes,
I'm a
please,
fan of
come
tricks
join
and
us. Well, you're a very large individual, aren't you? What are you
Yes.
doing skulking around in the dark all by yourself? Something
I'm not
sinister,
alone.
perhaps?
I'm headed east. Just happened to walk by you
Ah, we are indeed heading west.
to Corthan.
Indeed. Are there any towns or villages on the road that we may come across in the next few days?
You're sure to stumble upon Mindenbrook,
Mindenbrook. And
a sad town.
It's a sad town, is it? Is it well protected?
There's a wall that goes all the way around it.
Does it have ample militia? Would we be safe if we was to decide to stay there for a few days? That's what we're asking, of course.
I was very safe. I think you'd be fine.
I doubt anybody would be interested in trying to tangle with a man of your size. There's another.
Well, you're probably right about that. I'm gonna step in their circle.
Is this a friend of yours that's approaching?
Friend. Acquaintance. I'm not sure anymore.
Traveling companion, then.
Yes.
You make yourself known as well, sir. Come forward.
That's okay.
Well, so he's not very social, then?
There's some problems with his body.
Oh, really? Well, we are all priests of a fashion. Perhaps we could help.
That would do the opposite.
Oh. So he doesn't want help, then?
I'm not sure.
Well, yes, we are all, followers of the faith, as it were. Pray tell, do you have a religious persuasion?
I do worship the Dark Lord.
Oh, the Dark Lord! And what do you call your Dark Lord? Does he perhaps have a name?
Zalmadsir Eshalish.
Oh, Jesus.
Not a name that I believe I have heard. We are worshippers of another deity, one that relishes fire, amongst other things. Yes, this is why we have such a splendid fire here, and we make offerings to the flame.
I see. Can I do that too?
Oh yes, by all means. Here, and he reaches in and pulls out a pouch, and plucks into the pouch and holds his hand out in like a pinched fashion. And then sprinkles what appears to be some kind of coloured powder into your hand. He said, yes, just invoke the name Pyremius and hurl this into the fire.
Will he appear in the flames?
In a fashion.
There's no this does not sign me up for a contract with this guy, does it?
No. Pyremius, has no interest in recruiting anybody under a dubious guise. No, he wants people that fully are aware of their doings. It does nobody any good to follow a deity under false pretenses, of course. Therefore, there is no worship.
Tolgar here would be beneficial to your faith. He has murdered many people.
Murder, you say? Oh, is this true? You have committed bloody murder numerous times?
I do what needs to be done in certain situations.
Do you enjoy it? I mean, do you have a problem doing it? Is it something that your conscience can tolerate, or are you torn and conflicted within?
Why would I be torn and conflicted when
Why
I'm just here to solve problems?
Why indeed? How do you like to do this? Your tasks. How do you like to go about this particular endeavor? Do you have a preference?
I like to line the bodies up in straight lines. In the heads, if they are decapitated, I put them in a pile.
Oh no! Not in what the rites that you bestow upon the corpses. I'm more talking about your chosen method of committing the murder.
Committing the murder.
Yes. Do you? Are you a favor? Do you favor weapons? Do you favor perhaps?
And I'm just gonna take out my longsword and go.
I see. Yes, I didn't know if someone as large as you might not relish tearing them apart with his bare hands, or something along those lines.
I prefer the clean method.
Ah, yes.
I will rip a man limb from limb if I do not have my weapon in my hand.
I see. So you have no real persuasion to how you particularly do the deed itself.
What's the point of this conversation?
Oh, no, just, you mentioned, he mentioned that you like to, murder people and that you might be a good recruit for our faith. I would believe you would be.
I'd rather talk about something else. Have you been headed from the east?
Yes, we traveled eastward. Or from the east, indeed.
Did you see a tower? A dark one?
Not that we recall, no.
How about a valley or a hollow?
Possibly a valley in the distance, but, no. Nothing of such, particular nature, no. There's a small outpost across the river. You'll probably get there in a few days.
Alright.
Halsey Outpost, they refer to it. We left a prize there for the locals.
Is it this fire powder?
Oh, no. No, it's, there was a magistrate that was visiting there. Apparently he was, doing his rounds. And we murdered him. It was quite enjoyable, to be honest.
What reason did you have?
Oh, like you said, do you really need a reason to commit murder? Our Lord Pyrenius, embraces those that, take life in a, we just like to do it. It's something we enjoy.
So you don't follow any kind of law or method?
Law? Oh, the laws of man are way beneath those of, the Lord Pyrenius. Oh,
there is no order to your god?
Order? We ourselves, are an order. But the order is, loosely governed by the fact that we all share the same desires and the same, outlook on life.
If I were to join, would I get whatever you hid under your robe?
Oh, absolutely, yes. By all
What
means.
is it?
And he reaches in and pulls out the vial. He says, this is some of the, finest brandy that you can find here in the East.
Can I do an insight check on that? See if I believe that? By
Oh, well,
looking
you
at
tell
him
me. Do you
and
believe it or not?
No. Can I look at it when he holds it to see if it looks like brandy?
It's a dark-colored bottle. There's definitely liquid in it, but what's in it, you
Can I
couldn't really
sniff it?
tell. But if you want to, I suppose.
All right.
Pulls out the cork and hands it to you.
I take it and I get a little whiff.
He's like, yes, Pyremius is rising to power. Things are changing in the wind. Can you feel it? We have felt it.
What happens when you drink this?
Well, it's delicious and, warming, and if you drink too much of it, you'll get a little tipsy, but beyond that, nothing.
Does it heal?
It's good for what ails you, yes.
All right. I'm going to say, just give me a moment. I'll be right back.
Oh, by all means, go and talk to your friend.
All right. I'm taking the vial with me. And
Okay.
I'll say, this way, Emlyn. Back to the party.
You can just give it to me.
I'm going to hand it to him as we're walking back to Emlyn and Thelonious.
All right.
So I have the vial. I have the brandy.
Okay,
Brandy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna step off the path, look at everybody in turn, and just take a gulp of it.
Okay. It is completely non-satisfying in every possible way.
Do any of them look surprised or shocked? Or
Not
is it
really,
like,
no.
Okay, you just drank some brandy.
And what about you? Are you a follower of the same Dark Lord?
No, I follow an older
Older
deity.
than this, whatever he called him. I didn't recall. It was a very strange name.
Yes, that is a devil in the hills to the west. He's
Oh, a devil! Ugh.
yes.
What a lowly thing to worship. our
Just
Lord
shrug
Pyremius,
mentally.
he embraces murder. Some of the best assassins in the known world follow Pyremius. He favors those that are willing to use poisons and things like that. Sinister death. But recently, we have found that those that worship him have been gaining in power. This past year, our prayers that he has been bestowing upon us, or the gifts that he has bestowed upon us when we pray, have been more vibrant and more varied than ever before.
There is a town north of Mintonbrook by the name of Horndon on the Mirror. It has a church of Wenta.
Indeed.
They have recently lost their powers.
You see, I'm telling you, it's all true, the rumors. This points to the truth, I'm sure of it. But do you believe that Saint Cuthbert did indeed slay, Mayaheen for power? Well, followers of Mayaheen all claim that they have no dominion and no power any longer. And we see what has happened in Corthan, the way that the Cuthbertarian religion has grown in strength. Oh, it all seems to make sense.
I just nod, and I walk up to this one to the in the purple robes, I guess, and hand him the brandy back.
He takes it and smiles at you politely.
Kill well, and I'm just going to turn and walk away. Walk back to the group.
When you walk back, you just...
Okay, so you walk back. So once you get back to Thelonious and to Kyla, prior to Emlyn arriving, what do you want to do?
Yeah. I just say to them, they follow a god who has no laws or order. I'd like to murder them.
Who cares about that? Let me guess, they didn't have anything magical or power on them, right? They're just a bunch of people around a campfire in the robes.
With vials of brandy?
So they were just out having it. Well, let's go. There's no need for us to get ourselves involved in this.
I don't agree with what they're doing.
So?
Therefore, they should die.
You need to learn to let things go. I feel you're so tightly woven because you hang on to these
Because of
things.
the push-ups I do 5 times a day.
Do you think they might agree with what we're doing?
Yes, turning them into allies, I think, would be much, at least if we decide to go on that path, would be much more helpful if we didn't just literally murder them for almost no reason.
They seem
Almost
to
no
kill.
reason.
Almost no reason. Well, Togal has a point. I understand his moral compass is very strong in some things. And I don't want to totally disregard him. Don't want to be rude. I like to try to be open-minded. But Tolga, what if instead of killing them, we use them possibly as pawns in our little game? Would that be better?
As prawns?
Prawns, yes, as little prawns that we, as the big prawn, use them to go out and find what we're looking for. Possibly. Maybe just... What do you think about that? Would you be able to sleep at night?
Okay.
The trouble there is they also worship murder.
So? Do you not, Kyla?
No.
You could have fooled me.
About what time do I get back? I mean, I don't know.
Probably getting close to now.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're probably in the group now.
We'll hear what Emlyn has to say.
What?
Yes, that's about it.
That's about what I expected. Okay, so we're moving on then.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah, they did give us some sort of... Oh, actually, I don't know this. Never mind, I don't know that.
Okay. there anything they mentioned other than perhaps not having order
Gods
for a
killing-
reason to kill them?
Gods killing gods.
Yes, they said that their deity is growing in strength. I told them about the priest of Wenta, who lost theirs.
I mean, he might have a little bit of a hand in that if it's about murder. Well, I might at least. Perhaps we should move on.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
They need to get caught up in a squabble of these people.
I hope they get rid of our witnesses from Minden Brook.
Like all of them, the entire town.
That wouldn't hurt me at all.
All right, okay. So yeah, you're just going to kind of leave them to their little campfire in the sinister dark. How far do you guys? How far do you want to go before you consider camping down yourselves?
Pitch black.
Yeah, I popped on dark vision, so whenever, I mean, not super late, whenever it makes sense that we would all sort of be winding down.
Okay. Once you all start to get kind of tired.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just gonna keep walking until they tell me they're stopping.
And let's stop.
Okay. Yeah, seeing as it's not a thing that you have to worry about anymore. Fatigue doesn't really tend to bother you. Okay, so by now, Emlyn is starting to smell pretty bad. He is officially pretty much decomposing nicely. His internal organs are beginning to pretty much become mush, and it reeks terribly.
Can we just scoop those out of his
He's
body?
also becoming kind of, his stomach and stuff is becoming kind of bloated and extended. He looks like he's eaten all the pies.
So at this point, I would know that if I use my dark magic to heal, would that help that? Like regain it? Or is this
this is really just part of the this is part of the being dead process.
Okay.
It's not really anything that it probably bothers you in the least.
Yeah.
What do you need intestines or lungs or hearts and stuff for?
Okay.
But yeah, he is definitely becoming quite disgusting.
Emlyn, please sleep 50 feet away and keep watch, since actually you can't sleep.
I could stay right here.
No.
Yes, unfortunately, your body's starting to decompose, and even though you are different than before, I'm sure the knowledge of decomposition and the effects it has, the stench, you stink, actually. And
I don't smell anything.
Yes, I understand you don't smell anything, but we all do. You have to at least understand that much, yes?
I understand, I just don't care.
Well, if you could just then you shouldn't care if you just stood over there instead, just a little far away. If it makes no difference to you, going by your logic.
I'm just gonna stand up and move 50 feet away.
Ah, yeah.
So he's just like, you just see this little guy standing lonely, looking towards us.
I'm literally just gonna be standing, staring at the camp. Like, it's kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's so creepy.
Watching them sleep.
Watching them sleep from afar. Just
I want to see some passerby like walk by you.
Watch your friends sleep.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Emlyn pretty much is able to just completely ignore the need for anything other than standing there. So you are, if you're trusting the dead Emlyn to watch, then yeah, you can all get a good 8 hours sleep, be fully refreshed in the morning.
you probably hear farts throughout the night. I imagine
Gases and things are escaping. Yeah.
It's like
I mean, he probably peed himself pretty badly and shat his britches when he died, so that tends to happen.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's probably not helping the smell.
It's like caked on.
Oh, gross.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Maybe
Yes,
next time you don't kill your party members.
Yeah, guys.
You asked for it.
We wake up and we head east some more.
All right. Excuse me.
After a hearty meal of rations.
Which
and
tastes delicious with that smell that just keeps, no matter what, wafting. You know, it's like one of those smells that once it gets in your nose and your mouth, you can taste it, and you just can't ever really get rid of it. Okay. So you want to carry on eastwards. About another full day, you can see ahead of you what appears to be a river. Ruby Har, thanks for the resub, my friend. Almost 4 years! 46 months. Holy crap.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Thanks,
strong.
Ruby. That's crazy.
Take your pants off, hit the hype. You can see what appears to be a river. Just kind of to the north, as you're looking at it, would be kind of northeast of the river. You can see a wood. Not a huge forest, but a fairly sizable wood. And just on the other side of that river, you can see a small scattering of buildings. Not enough to really consider it a town or a village, just a small collection of dwellings.
Is the river fast moving, deep? Like,
You can't really tell from this distance. Rock Lobster, also
Thank you.
46 months.
hey, thanks.
Holy shites.
Thank you for that as well. Resubbery. 46 months for you guys. Holy shit.
Still sticking around.
We appreciate it. We are thankful for our community, for sure.
We are.
That's what we give thanks to today, is our amazing community. You guys that support us and hang out, and whether you sub, whether you cheer, whether you just view, all of those things are greatly appreciated. So thank you for that.
We love you.
All right. At this distance, you can't really tell.
Okay. Just gonna walk up to the river.
All right. Okay.
Same.
In that case, let us move you to Halsey Outpost. All right. We don't need any tension music. It's not a particularly tense moment as you approach the river. It isn't bubbling with blood or anything like that.
Phew. Oh, wait. Aw. Emlyn, can you swim still? Just wondering.
I mean,
He probably floats right now.
there is a bridge right there.
I'm just wondering.
I could go in the water. Yes.
Okay, to answer your question earlier, it is not a fast-flowing river, but I mean, it definitely is flowing. It's flowing south, and it's pretty big. I mean, it's a pretty sizable river. There is a large and sturdy wooden bridge that basically spans the water itself, leading into the little cluster of buildings.
Okay, is there anybody out and about on this road as we're crossing the bridge?
There's a couple of people kind of mulling around just off the main road here by this small house. They're kind of like tilling some earth in front, like they're either working a vegetable garden or about to plant something or other, but that's about it that you can see.
Emlyn, cover up.
Do I still smell?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes.
So me covering up won't do any good for us.
Maybe go stand by those trees.
Well, I could help with that, of course. Someone pick a smell, any smell. I know lavender's just so overplayed right now. Emily, what would you like to smell like?
Human.
A human smell. All right, okay. And I'm gonna walk over to Tolgar and just kind of get close to him and go,
Oh, he probably doesn't smell good either, man.
and try to replicate what I smell.
I can't remember the last time any of you bathed, so...
So I'm gonna cast prestidigitation of what I get from his smell.
You probably smelled strawberries, the faint hint of strawberries.
Well, whatever I smell, I try to embody that into
Yeah.
Ode Emlyn and cast it.
Ode to Emlyn.
Yeah.
There doesn't appear to be many people here.
All it takes is one, Emlyn. Better safe than sorry.
Well, we could just purge the town.
Why do we have to just go straight to that all the time?
Well, then no one will complain or notice my smell.
Why
if
don't
they
we
have,
just walk through and continue east?
What if they have valuable information? What if they have items? What if they have... I don't know. What if we could use them somehow?
We kill them, take their items.
But what if we could use
Before we kill them, we ask them questions.
I'm not against it.
No one dies until there's a good reason. That's not good enough.
Thank you. Yes, if we just
If
walk
they
around...
look at me funny, it's good enough.
Okay, well, that might
Let's
be a little... Too harsh.
I'm just gonna walk up to Thelonious after that and kind of whisper to him, like, could you make his face look funny to other people?
I would rather not. He's been through a lot, and I would like to just try to ease as much of the suffering as I possibly can. His body's going through some changes, and I want to make it as easy as possible for him.
No. I'm
Second
referring
puberty.
to him, and I point at Tolgar, just like, if you make him look funny, they'll all look at him funny. And then Tolgar will kill everybody, and it will be fun to watch.
I don't want everyone dead. You do understand that doing so will bring a lot of heat on top of us, yes?
We're already being impossibly tracked.
It will attract a lot of other... You want more tracking? You want more attention? I do not.
In
I
order
want as
for them
little
to
as
know
possible.
what happened, they need witnesses.
I just don't think people would just let whole towns just say, oh, well, they all... Who knows? And then move on.
I just want to get this business over with.
We could just gather them all around, and you can gut me in front of them. They will flee, and I will no longer smell.
But then they will get someone to say of what happened here. It will bring attention on top of us. What is so hard to understand about that with everyone? I don't
Well,
get
that's
it.
what I'm saying. If there's no one to talk about it,
What about someone who returns from town? Someone who visits a family member? It is the holiday season, after all.
they'll just simply come home, be freed from one more family member, and that's the end of it.
Let's just see what
That's
happens.
one fewer trips they have to make every year. Just saying.
Yeah. Let us just see how it all plays out.
Yes.
Let's just
so-
not jump straight into murder the whole village. Just saying.
Gore, I'm actually going to walk to the river.
Okay.
And despite not smelling anything, clean my clothes. Because, I mean, I know that I shat myself and,
Yeah.
try to mitigate the sound.
All right.
Of bathe, quote unquote.
Okay.
And we're
And then
going to start crossing the bridge.
Cross the bridge.
Alrighty. Okay, you get some strange looks from the couple that are tilling the soil with a hoe as you kind of wander past. They stop momentarily to stare a little bit, and then they're like, look away and continue to toil in their field.
Okay.
Alright,
By them.
okay. The building to your immediate left has a wooden sign that declares it as the Halsey Tap House. A large stable sits just down from it on the curvature in the road.
Is there like loud laughter and noise coming from the tap house?
Not really. It seems to be fairly quiet.
Okay. I think we'll try to continue past everything. Unless anyone says something else.
Keep walking.
All right.
Oh, and that's sorry.
Well, I just correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes I forget things. Do we know exactly where we're going?
East is a very long way and a very big area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, you could probably be looking at anywhere about 1,500 mile coastline if you keep
Yeah.
going.
So
So, assuming
yes, that is my point. Yeah, shouldn't we press for some information, maybe a lead, instead of just literally wandering off into the to the openness? Give us some sort of direction, maybe?
Not to mention, you're probably also becoming pretty damn low on rations and food and stuff, seeing as you didn't actually restock at all in the last town.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Emily doesn't care, of course, but...
I'm going to point ahead and say, I'm going to walk a little bit further down the road. You guys go in.
I don't think by yourself. You're just going to go off.
You rather me enter?
No, just stay close. Maybe don't get yourself in any trouble.
I'm just going to wander down the road.
Okay.
And probably at the curb, I will see what appears to be a pink pen, maybe? Is that what that is?
No, so basically that is a stable. The building is a stable. There's a couple of calves tied to a post outside. It looks more like an area where they just probably take horses out to kind of exercise them and stuff like that, by the way that you can see grooves in the dirt all the way around the outside and, numerous hoof prints.
So I'm going to walk past the road to this tree, and I'm just going to stand under the tree looking back at the town.
Okay.
Totally not threatening or scary at all. Like, there's a fucking out there.
There's so many good fan art opportunities here.
I know,
Just
right?
the whole group with you so far off in the distance, just stoically
Okay.
looking.
And so the other three of you are going to wander into the tap house. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
All right.
Oh my.
Wow.
I wish I had entered. Old Emlyn would have entered.
Oh, old
But you
Old
killed
Emlyn.
him, you...
You told us to.
All right, okay. As you enter the tap house, it's not very large. It is certainly not a grand building by any means. It's 2-story. A old and none too level bar is to the far left-hand corner, where various different people are gathered around it. There is a couple of tables here, and more like a long square table with a couple of benches down at the far end. You can hear the crackling of a fire coming through an opening like an archway to the right.
I'm gonna make my way forward and look for whoever the barkeep is.
All right. Well, you can see a gentleman behind. He's just kind of about to put down a tray with a couple of bread rolls, some cheese, and a kind of a jug of some liquid. I'll be with you in just a moment.
Thank you.
As he puts it down.
Stand here.
Right. That'll be. Let's see. Miriam, how much are the bread rolls again? And you hear, I told you before, they're 2 copper. Right, so that's the flagon here, and that's 4 silver and 4 copper pieces, please. Lovely, thank you very much. Right, what can I get for you, big fella?
Directions.
Oh, okay.
We're looking for Morden's Hollow.
Morden's Hollow. Miriam! Do you know where Morden's Hollow is, Miriam? No idea. We don't know where it is, I'm afraid.
I'm gonna turn around to Emlyn and kind of say, well, that's all.
You asked one person.
Oh, excuse me. Go up to
Are you sure you're not hungry? We've got a large selection of foods available. Miriam's a splendid cook.
3 plates, please.
Right, 3 plates of are you wanting the trout, grilled trout, or
No trout. Meat.
Oh,
please.
meat. Well, we've got some lovely goat.
Okay.
Very nicely spit roasted, isn't it, Miriam? Yes.
That's a good thing.
Would you like vegetables with that? Any bread?
Okay.
Cake? Do we have any cake, Miriam? No, we've got some pies. Oh, we've got pies. What kind of pies are they, Miriam? Apple.
Oh my God.
We've got some apple pies, but no cake, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Thelonious.
When you
you
walk
still
over
want
to
to
here,
spare them?
this woman stands up in front of you. She's got a whip kind of coiled on her belt. She's got her left hand on what looks like a walking cane. It's very well carved, and it's got like a snake's head on the top of it. She's got her hair kind of pulled back in a tight bun. She's got like a leather tunic on that's very well fitting, and a fine cloak wrapped around it. As soon as you walk over to her, she just stands up, looks at you, and she says, "Can I help you?"
Hi. My name's
Can I help
Tokar.
you?
Do you know where Morden's Hollow is?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No. Is that all?
Who are you? You look like a friend of mine.
Yes, I'm not a friend of yours. Now, if you don't mind, we're in the middle of something.
What are you doing?
With that, she kind of allows the whip to, like, just holding the whip, she allows the whip to just uncoil to the floor. She says, "What are we doing now, or what am I going to be doing in 5 minutes if you don't push
are you
off?"
DeWint's friend with the whip?
DeWint. I have no idea who DeWint is.
Poor Than DeWint, he was running around with the lady.
Olenyak, can you let Marin know that we have people that we need to dissuade? At which point he says, do you really think that it's come to that already? But no, I'll fetch Marin, of course.
Wait,
with
who
that,
was
you
saying
see him
that?
kind of curve his hands in a circle, and then... And he
Oh.
mouths something in silence.
Wait, who did that? I'm sorry.
This gentleman
The
in
guy
the
next
corner.
to him. Okay, that's what I thought. I just
I'm
wanted to
gonna
make sure.
say, Kyla, go get Emlyn.
Right. I'm just gonna go ahead and like knock the door open just a little bit. I'm assuming Emily can kind of see me just standing there. I'm just gonna be like,
Emily's a long way away from where you are.
I have 120 feet vision.
Yeah, he's way further away than that. He's on the other side of he's on the other side of Halsey outpost. He went all the way to the far side, right past the bend, under the tree.
okay, don't start anything for like 18 seconds. I'm gonna smash out the door.
Right, you
I'm
hear
gonna-
very heavy footsteps coming down some stairs somewhere that you can't quite see.
I'm gonna just kind of peek out from behind Tolgar and say, "Let's not jump. I just had this conversation with my own friends here. Can we all just calm down a little bit? There's no need to get hasty. We were just asking a couple of questions. We didn't mean to intrude on anything."
But he is intruding, and he keeps asking questions. We don't have answers, so if you'd like to tell your friend to leave, then we can go about our business.
Would that diffuse the situation? We don't want any trouble.
Absolutely.
Okay, Tolgar, maybe we should step back here for a moment.
I will step back with him and go sit down here, keeping an eye on that lady.
All right.
She was so quick to be mean.
At this point, a guy in basically full plate mail, incredibly shiny plate comes
wow.
down. He's got like a long, flowing silk, almost kind of off-white, silverish looking cloak. And he's literally like he's got his sword in a scabbard down on his back. He's got his hand on it as he comes through the archway, looking around with a mean-looking scowl. He says, "Hello, what's going on? Where's the trouble, then?"
I'm gonna stand up and slowly walk up to him with kind of my hands looking up and non-threatening, saying, "Oh, I believe I could shed some light on that. My friend and I, we were just going around to each person in the bar, no one in particular, just asking a question, trying to find our way in this crazy, vast world, as I'm sure you know. Things got a little bit out of hand, tempers flared for no reason, and we apologize if there was any inconvenience to you, if you had to come from all the way up top of those stairs in that armor. That is very tiring indeed."
Oh, no, not at all. Sir Marin, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, a pleasure to meet you as well. My name is Thelonious Conch.
Mariciel, is there a problem? No, not anymore. The large gentleman in the corner came over and started asking questions. Understanding the mood that Mauriciel's in, she wasn't particularly friendly. Now, my dear, you really must try to get yourself out of this funk that you found yourself in. Please, we do apologize. I am Samarin. I am I don't like the title, to be honest. Let's just say I am a devout follower of, the Church of the Righteous Sun.
Would I have any knowledge of this church?
And with the holy symbol, he's a fucking Peelerite. He worships Peeler.
Okay. Okay. All right. A pleasure to make your acquaintance again. We just maybe you could help with this situation, as we don't want it to escalate any further. We were curious if you knew of the location called Morden's Hollow. We are going that direction. Hopefully, you might be able to point us the right way.
Morden's Hollow. And which direction would that be from here?
East is the only direction we northeast, southeast, who knows? We just know it's eastern.
Morden's Hollow. Aleniak, you've travelled, far more in the east than I have. Have you have heard of, Morden's Hollow? I'm afraid I haven't. Morden's Hollow, you say? No, not a place that I've ever come across. You've not stumbled across it, Mauricio? No, I haven't. I've already told them that.
Well, but you said it in such a rude manner. I thought maybe you were just brushing us off.
Well, I, for one, don't just wander up to complete strangers and start asking them questions that are none of my business. I tend to keep myself to myself.
Well, then how do you make any friends?
Friends?
Yes, friends.
Why would I want friends? Friends are just things that burden you. They get killed. You must understand, unfortunately, our little group has diminished somewhat in this last couple of weeks. Mauricio's brother was part of our group. With that, he kind of walks over and grabs hold of puts like one arm over your shoulder and kind of turns you and walks you away from their table. And seeing Tolgar, he kind of, he's trying to guide you over towards Tolgar's table rather subtly.
As I walk over there, I'm just going to kind of shoot Tolgar a look that's like, just shut up, Tolgar. Let me do the talking.
Yes, Mauricio's brother was part of our group. Unfortunately, he met a unpleasant death.
No.
I'm afraid so.
Oh, would you mind indulging me in what possibly happened?
Well, it's to be honest, it's still a little fresh, and I don't really want to discuss it. The main reason we're here, however, was there was a murder. 3, in fact, only 3 nights ago.
3 murders 3 nights ago?
Yes.
Oh. Just thought I was trying to get my facts.
An entire family.
In this town?
Well, this is more of an outpost, really, but there are only, other than the tavern here, the trade hall, and the small store, there are but 2 dwellings. Those that owned the store, the family, they were all found murdered. It was rather sinister. The father had his throat slit. The wife was hung from the rafters until she was dead, and they poisoned the young boy.
Oh, I think I know who did that.
Oh, really?
Yes, we ran into 6 followers of some orderless god who liked to murder, and they said they left someone a present.
Are you sure? You're not,
Seems right.
Whereabouts did you see these individuals?
They were on the road heading east to Mindenbrook.
Heading east?
West.
So wait. So had you
Heading
not
west.
yet reached Mindenbrook, or...
Not at the time. It's been over a day.
So they were heading east towards Minderbrook, or
West towards
west?
Windsor.
I'm sorry, I misheard you. I
West.
thought you said east.
Oh, no, my friend has just a terrible sense of direction. You're fine.
I don't. I'm great at directions. Look at my map. So I start taking them out again.
I thought you were gonna say, "Look at my muscles." Like that would have anything
Look
to
at
do
my
with it.
muscles. I see. And you said there were 6 of them.
Yes. Oops.
How would we recognize these individuals? Did you get a description of them?
They were chanting a lot, and they liked fire.
What did they say specifically? Do you recall?
They said the name of this god.
Do you recall which of the darker deities that they were speaking the name of?
Emlyn would know.
Emlyn.
He's on his way over right now.
Oh, excellent. Fetch Emlyn.
Hold
Okay.
on. I think that's quite enough.
Okay.
All right. So, Kyla, were you going to get Emlyn? Was that the point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna check and make sure we were fighting before bringing him in, but it looks like we're not fighting.
All right. So, are you bringing Emlyn in, or?
I'd tell him to wait outside, maybe
Okay.
hide around a corner or something, and
All right.
Yeah.
not smell too bad.
I would know better than to enter a tavern. Just
Okay. So Kyla walks in, and you see the gentleman in the striking gentleman in shiny armor. He says, Emlyn, I assume.
Who's asking?
Oh, I do apologize. Sir Merrin.
Gotcha. And then I'm gonna look at the other 2 real quick, like, what have we gotten into, just to
Yes.
see.
Hello, Emlyn. Oh, Emlyn. Good. You finally made it back in here.
Okay, he's friendly then.
Yes. Please, come. Sit.
Such treasure
Emlyn,
on the road.
Your large friend here said that you might recall the name of the dark deity that the figures that you met on the road a few nights ago might have mentioned.
To be honest, it was all quite a bit of a shock. I don't know if I do. Some kind of devil, I'm sure.
Some kind of devil.
Yeah, saying something about what was it? I'm sorry, my memory's just not serving me.
Oh, what a shame. I certainly would like to know what it is we may be going up against.
Well, we certainly would like to know if anyone has been to Morden's Hollow as well. If we were to think so hard, maybe you could think harder.
Oh,
as well.
trust me, if I had any idea where this Morden's Hollow was, I would happily tell you.
And you're sure your friends don't know? It seemed like, again, we were just getting brushed off without an actual real answer.
Well, when I
Perhaps you don't
asked them,
know the
they
name.
said they didn't. I believe them.
Did you come up across perhaps a mountain, the edge of a mountain and a shadowy area with a tower?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
So no towers to the east, that's all you can think of.
Well, I don't want to say no towers, but nothing that would be situated around an area known as Morden's Hollow, no.
Is there a different name for it?
Maybe, but unfortunately, seeing as I don't know what Morden's Hollow is, if there was a different name for it, I wouldn't know the name, would I, you see?
You'll have to excuse me. It tends to think out loud. It's more sorry. It's coming to me. There's more I know that there were in the interest of helping you out here, they were a group that was welcomed by murderers. I don't recall the name, but like the murderers were welcomed into his fold, rather. Something to do with poison and
Murderers.
assassination.
And,
They were all gathered around a fire, chanting.
was it perhaps, did they seem like they might have been priests or anything, or?
No, they didn't quite have that esteem.
Did you hear the name Erythniel mentioned? Were they perhaps followers of Erythniel? God of slaughter and hate and envy and malice?
Don't think so.
No?
They told me the name and they wanted me to say it, but I didn't say it, so I can't remember it.
I see. But specifically murder, you said.
Yes, specifically...
Perhaps it was Reroll.
Something with pyro in it.
It sounded out so
Pyro? Pyro. Not, Paremius? No?
That sounds about right.
It could be, right?
Well, Paremius is a lesser-known god of murder and, sometimes worshipped by foreign assassins and stuff, but I'm not aware that there are any cults or, churches in this region, for sure. Of course, they're not exactly public knowledge if they were.
I was about to say, if I were a murder cult, I wouldn't really wear it on my sleeve now, wouldn't I?
Well, that's right. But if that is the case, then they could indeed be, The only thing is... well, no, that wouldn't make a lot of sense, but, normally, followers of theirs they pride themselves in the skill of how they take a life, and they, do so for money. As I said, often, very, very skilled hired assassins.
They wanted to do it just for fun here and there with no rules or order.
This sounds more like it would be followers of Reroll.
It was Paremius.
Indeed. Very, very scary. Did they say anything else? Did they perhaps... You said that they left a prize for somebody. Were they referring about
the Magistrate and the... Does that sound familiar?
Well, the Magistrate was due to visit us several days ago, and he has not arrived.
They killed him.
Heavens, no.
I think they left him in the tower or some...
The tower? Do you know what tower? I'm not familiar with any towers nearby.
An outpost.
Well, this is
this
Halsey.
is the outpost.
This is Halsey Outpost.
Oh. Then no.
So... Oh, okay. Why do you think they murdered the Magistrate?
I think they told me they did.
Oh, but you don't recall where? Or how? They didn't elaborate.
There was really cool colors in the fire at the time.
Yes, perhaps... Would it be... Do you think they might have told you and you just can't remember?
Yes, absolutely.
Would you be opposed of a friend of mine, utilizing some of his arcane skills to see if he can't, pluck the knowledge from your brain?
I love magic.
Ah, excellent. Oleniak, my friend, come here. This guy kind of slides out and comes wandering over.
Yeah, as he turned, I just looked at Tolgar and like nudged him like that was a bad idea.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, this is my wizard friend, Oleniak. He is, quite skilled, and I'm sure he would be able to, jog the knowledge inside your head.
How?
Well, if you know the information, he could perhaps use his arcane ability. I could ask you a question, and then you would tell us.
And that's all you can get? Can you find out stuff I don't want to tell you?
Oh, we would certainly not wish to intrude. That is not my... my order is one of honesty and valor and justice. No, purely this would be for the very simple task of finding out.
I need to tell you right now, I did kill my own brother, but I had to.
Information that you really didn't need to share.
I just thought that might be something that would come up.
I'm sure that maybe you have a good reason. But no, that's not something we would really, Killed anybody else? I mean... Any magistrates? Families?
No magistrates. Tolgar.
All right.
But no, I'm genuinely
comes
curious.
from a- he
Have
comes
you
from a family
murdered
of
anybody else
barbarians.
recently or killed anybody?
What?
Have you killed anybody else?
You
Just...
don't need to discuss this. Just the questions you need
Oh, no,
to ask. about
that's fine. I just wondered, seeing as you were volunteering information about past indiscretions.
I have some fears I didn't know about till recently.
Okay. All right, let's just do what we need to do and ask.
I'm afraid I'm not a skilled counselor. I won't be able to help you with your fears. All I can say is face them head on. That's the way. Face them head on.
Applied directly to the.
I killed Emlyn too.
Have you killed anyone else recently? My best friend.
My very best friend.
And 4 and 5 horses each. Okay. He says, well, Eleniak, this large individual seems to think that he overheard some information, but about where the magistrate may have been killed or how. Could you perhaps lend a hand and jog the memory? Why, yes, if he's willing. I certainly wouldn't want to do it against his will.
Proceed.
Right then, you won't feel a thing.
Okay.
You'll just feel as if somebody else is in your head.
Happens a lot.
And I'll just be kind of observing, and he'll ask the questions, and then I'll move a few of the thoughts around and see if any of them light up and pop to the front.
All right.
Now, only think about what it is that he asks you. Try to keep focused, and that way I won't accidentally overhear or pick up anything that you'd rather I didn't.
Okay.
You know, if you've done anything sinister or wicked, keep that
no.
buried. You know, don't think about those vile deeds you may have done.
All right. I'm ready.
All right, okay. Inorius Venta and Golinus Kissad. And you see like a little cloud of smoke kind of floats quickly towards Tolgar and disappear up his nostrils.
You just immediately hear, I killed my best friend Emlyn.
No, keep that to yourself. Keep that to yourself.
Okay.
Quickly, Samarin, ask the questions. Ask the questions. He says, now, was it... Did you recall specifically, did they tell you where they killed the magistrate? And where his body would be?
What happens to Tolgar's brain? Does he remember it better?
Basically, you can recall what was said. Yes, that they basically said that they murdered the magistrate, and they murdered the magistrate in Halsey Tap House, and they left him as a prize. But they didn't specifically say where.
The tap house was where he was killed as a prize somewhere. They left it as a surprise for you to find.
But this is the tap house.
Have you opened every cabinet?
Have you tasted the goat?
Oh, God.
It's people! Okay, so Samarin, apparently
The little
they...
girl Thelonious killed him. Her.
Talking nonsense now?
Ignatius! There, the spell has ended. The spell has ended.
How did I do?
yes,
I tried to focus.
About as good as expected, Tolgar.
Apparently, Samarin, the vile deed was done here, somewhere in the tap house. Really? Well, that's rather sinister. Perhaps we need to search all the rooms. of course, we were not aware that the magistrate had been killed. So, just that he had not arrived. Obviously, with that being said, we haven't been looking for the magistrate. We will investigate and seek what the situation is at once. It's very dubious, though, the fact that they said that they left him as a prize for somebody. I'm expecting to find the magistrate in a very unpleasant fashion. Yes, come, Samarin, let's go back to Marisil and tell her the information, and, we can go about finding the magistrate, yes. By all means. Miriam, if you wouldn't mind, bring a round for these fine folk here, and, whatever they would like to eat this evening, please put it on my bill. Oh, fair enough, then!
Sorry for the bad news about the magistrate.
Well, it's worrying to be sure, but anyway, I appreciate it. Enjoy your meal and your beverages.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Miriam comes over and she just puts a big flagon in the middle of the table, and then she slings 3 plates down. Well, it's on him. What do you want?
I think we said already.
Oh, that's right. You wanted the goat, didn't you?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'll just take the bread.
Oh, I can bring you some bread. That's fine, dearie. Fine. All right, she wanders off. And disappears through this side door here as she heads into the kitchen.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Would you mind going and checking and just to see if now that Emlin's the way he is, maybe he's bored.
You can see Samarin is now walking back over to your table, little frowny.
Hello?
Oh, hello. And he's looking at Kyla. Emlyn, is it?
Yes.
Feeling all right?
No, I've just learned that this man killed his brother and best friend. But
Oh, and he killed his best friend. Who?
no, well, he said it out loud, didn't he?
No.
No. Oh, I thought he said it out loud. That's why I was being all weird. Okay.
No. But my friend did say that he thought that your large friend here had murdered you. So you're not feeling unwell?
No. Perhaps he's confused then.
Maybe.
I was under a lot of pressure.
He kind of glances back at the wizard, who's like, shrugs his shoulders. Oh,
Strange.
no, it was as soon as my friend entered his head, immediately he just got this strong feeling that he said something about, I've murdered my best friend Emlyn. Which was worrying, of course, and then they said that your name was Emlyn, so I thought that was a bit weird.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yes, I mean, you should realize at this point that that head up there is exactly like a clean room, so to speak. For example, he thought east was west. He thought Emlyn was. It's a mess.
He's a troubled soul, I see.
I am standing here.
I will pray for him.
Thank
will
you,
pray
yes.
to Pelor, to Cliff. Perhaps.
I am the chief of my tribe. I don't need prayers.
I didn't. I have no means to offend you, good sir. I merely meant it as a gesture of kindness.
Yeah, thank you for looking out. We appreciate your good deeds, but everything here is absolutely fine.
Well,
And
I do
and-
apologize. It just struck me strange, that's all.
Maybe it was like a childhood friend. It is a popular name. I can think of at least one other person with it.
Yes, well, just with you being here, you understand the confusion. Good evening.
Go ahead for questions.
Uh-huh.
These lighter colored blocks.
They're windows.
Are they windows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Emlen's totally looking in the one.
Oh, that's so creepy.
So Emily's just standing there creepily.
I'm staring at Absolutely. I'm totally staring into the tavern.
Okay, in that case, then it's only feasible that I see it as he is standing here. I'm going to make a roll to see if he would or would not have noticed you.
I totally would not be afraid to. I was just making sure that those were what I thought they were.
Right. Yeah, no, they absolutely are. Okay.
Okay.
I love that.
All right, well, I'm going to make a perception check for the guy. I mean, he's not particularly looking through the window, and it's lighter on the inside than out. So he's probably going to need at least a 15 to actually spot anybody leering from the other side of the room.
Emlen doesn't leer; he just stares silently.
That's what leering
All right,
is.
yeah, 15 or higher, and he'd notice. Nope, he doesn't notice, Emlyn.
I'm just standing there.
Thank God.
I just wish it was raining and thundering right now, and a crash of lightning and light up behind him, and it's...
You're the GM, make it happen.
So, all right, okay.
All right. What were you saying, Kyla? About Emlyn being bored?
Oh. You might want to go check on what he's up to.
All right. Get up and leave the tavern.
All right. Okay, you wander outside. Yeah, you see Emlyn standing, peering by the window, just outside the door.
Hey.
Okay, as soon as he's out of there, I'm just gonna be like, Thelonious, how do we avoid this in the future? I can't have this around me.
What do you mean, creepy Emlyn? Staring through windows. That's life now.
This is now a thing you need to get used to.
What exactly do you mean?
Is there any way you could prevent certain things being said? Maybe make other things said, He has this uncanny way of incriminating absolutely everyone around them, falsely, of course.
Oh, you mean Tolga?
Yes.
Unfortunately, there's not... I don't really have, like, a mind control like Emlyn could do. He could alter people's thoughts and actions a little more than I can. I can just make people like me more. Not that I need to use that often. But it's more in that sense than it is actually shifting what someone can do to my will. So no, in short, is the answer, I guess.
Right.
But I found what works, though, is sort of playing Tolga up as a dullard. People seem to dismiss him quickly. The whole brawn, no brain thing. Stereotypical, I admit, but it is useful in most situations.
And I've made a living off of stereotypes, so...
Yes, as have I, actually. Most people think, oh, that Thelonious is old and unable, but as we all know, that is not true.
Yes, what a clever ruse.
Thank you.
Outside, as Tolgar exits, I just look at him and say, Kyla said I was needed, but then told me to stay outside.
No longer. I gave them all the information they needed.
Who?
A man in white and a girl who looks like that whore Lilith.
I'm gonna look through the window to try to find who she's talking about.
Okay.
Who he's talking about.
If you're looking through this window, yeah, I mean, you can see a group of individuals clustered over in the far right-hand side.
And I'm gonna say, since I didn't get to kill those 6, I gave them up as murderers, so perhaps they will die by the hands of those folk.
And it looks like there's a vote for inspiration for Tolgar's focus.
Yeah.
And it has carried, so congratulations. Have an inspiration point, Tolgar.
Thanks.
The way you inspired you inspired chat the way you pretty much tried to almost accidentally screw over your entire friends group. So
Well, you know.
You kill one and then you get the rest in prison. That's how you do it.
Find out this is Tolgar's plan the entire time.
They are looking.
So he could get the staff.
So I'm just gonna look at Tolgar and be like, "Those over there are looking for the dead person, aren't they?"
The magistrate, yes.
Who was killed in town.
Yes. Right here in the tavern.
So at that, I'm gonna walk around the tavern and activate an invocation of mine.
Okay.
It's called Ghostly Gaze.
All right.
And I'm just going to look how multi-level this is.
It's 2-story. There's a ground floor and 1 floor above.
Seeing that I can't probably pierce through the entire thing from one side, right? Because it's a big.
Yeah, because your spell only penetrates up to 30 feet, so goes about halfway in.
Right. So I'm going to walk the perimeter just over the minute, looking up and down to see if I see anything in a place that might be stuffed somewhere. Maybe.
All right. Let's see. You can see through solid objects. Okay. Yeah. So at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of, let me use arrows to kind of show you how this place lays out. So,
Cool.
there's a, let me see here. Alright, so the landing is here. And then once you turn the landing, you're kind of going down here, basically.
Okay.
And there are small rooms on the left, kind of all the way down this side, and then there's rooms on the right all the way down this side. At the very end of the hallway, it turns and goes this way, and there's another set of rooms. So in the second room down, which would basically be pretty much over the fireplace, the room that's directly above where the fireplace is, yeah, there's a corpse, and it's under the floorboards.
Okay. So as I see it, I'm going to walk back to where Tolgar was standing by the door and be like, he's in the room over the fireplace on the second floor. Under some floorboards, or it seems to be. I mean,
Will
if
it
he
look
wasn't discovered,
suspicious if I lead them there?
probably. But who cares?
I'll let them find it.
I'll help you look. I've got no idea where he is. Let's go into this room here and tear up those floorboards on the off chance that that's where he might be. Oh, look, there he is. Nothing suspicious about that at all.
If you really care, you could say you smell something. Use your big nose.
Thank you.
Whatever. I'm just gonna go back and stare into the window. I'm gonna be looking right at Thelonious, just like.
Hello, Emlyn.
Okay.
Wait, what's he?
I'm
I'm gonna cast. Are there blinds on the windows?
No.
All right.
They have shutters, but all the shutters are open right now.
Yeah, that's okay. So I'm gonna go Thelonious Culture and cast Prestidigitation for a puff of wind to have him go. Yeah, just shut up. I don't want to look at that at all.
All right, so you shutter the window.
Yeah.
I don't do anything. I just.
All right. About now is when Miriam comes back to your table with a large tray and 3 big helpings of sliced goat meat and a bunch of vegetables and a loaf of bread. And she just puts it down on the table. Do you need a refill on the drinks? Need any more drinks? Any more ale? Well, you haven't touched it, look. Is there something wrong with it?
No, we've had pressing issues. Just to double check, the tab is on our friend at the other table over there, yes? He's picking this up?
That's what he said.
Then yes, another round, please, and keep the food coming. This all looks delicious.
Fair enough.
Alright,
You're having a red wine.
What was that?
A red.
You want some red wine? Fair enough.
Yes.
We've got some fine mead as well. Delicious mead, honey mead.
Yes, but the wine for me, though.
Oh, you want some wine as well, do you?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Fair enough.
Do you have a good vintage?
It's wine and it is red.
That will do, thank you.
I've got a lighter coloured red and a darker coloured. I suppose the darker one might be more older.
Let's go with the darker. Let's give it a shot. Be adventurous,
Fair
I say.
All right.
Thelonious, I have another question. And this one's more.
You're very quiet all of a sudden, my friend.
What?
Hmm?
No,
I like the
it's not allowed. Is it better now?
I know,
Ah,
I kind of, because I'm running through APO to try and boost it, but no, it's saying I ain't got no sound.
ain't got no sound.
Okay. So, I guess I'll just hold this like this from now on until I figure out what's going on.
Did you have a gain
It's like-
setting? You can turn the gain up, maybe?
No, it's not. That's not allowed, Gore. You gotta understand.
Oh, okay. That's the thing you
Like,
can't
it
do.
doesn't- yeah, no, it doesn't exist on the mic. But
Oh, okay. But you
I'm
sound a lot
gonna-
better now, all of a sudden.
yeah, because I'm like, I'm
Breathing into the mic.
So, the reason you taste all these red wines, I don't want to suggest that maybe it's something of a aesthetic choice of yours, but couldn't you just prestidigitate your favorite wine over the taste of any wine?
Well, yes, I could, but that is going with the idea that I do have a favorite wine. Hmm? Did you even ask me if I had a favorite wine? Well,
Do you
could
have a
see-
favorite wine?
I do not. Obviously. I think variety is the spice of life. That is one of the reasons why I like my powers so much and why I like to have a robust book of spells. I don't want to just cast one thing over and over. That gets old hat. You see, I prefer to mix it up. It's what keeps me so young.
But doesn't it put it a certain way then? If you could have any wine as a base and then any aroma over that wine, would it not increase the amount of sophistication you could achieve in your life?
Possibly,
Especially with so few years left. I'm just trying to.
I am no sommelier. I don't know if that word exists in this world, but it does now. I leave that to the experts. I just like to be the consumer. I like to enjoy. I don't necessarily want to know how the sausage is made. I just want to enjoy it.
But it's specifically red, is it not?
Well, I do prefer red over white, as it does go with meat, and I do like to have a protein with most of my meals, so it's that just goes together better. But as far as the wine itself goes, that I like to leave to the experts, or in this case, the barkeep.
Well, given it's the holiday season, you just made things a lot easier.
Yahoo! Red wine all around!
All right. After you've talked to Emlyn and he's told you about the corpse hidden under the floorboards, are you heading back in, Tolgar, at this point?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk in and I'm gonna sit down here, take a long sip of my ale, put it down, and say, "He's upstairs under the floorboards."
Ooh.
The magistrate, the dead body.
Oh, for a second I thought you meant Porthan. I was gonna be very
That would be very
Well,
nice.
wouldn't that be the anticlimax of a
Wouldn't it be nice?
campaign in history?
That'd be so great.
He's dead. Somebody else killed
that
him.
boy
You can
and
all
found
go
him
home.
Oh, I thought you were saying he was.
End of the
hiding under
campaign,
floorboards
ladies and
like a
gentlemen. They
5-year-old.
found poor Thanduin. He's dead under the floorboards. Story over.
I just thought you meant he was hiding under there. Like they'll never find me here.
Maybe he is.
Tipped off that demon the wrong way. Made up a whole place that doesn't even exist. No one's heard of it.
That's it.
But yes, that's where he is. I can't tell them because that would seem like we did it.
Yeah, it's obligated to help them.
And the fact that you've already mentioned the fact that you've killed 2 people. Not that likely that he'd automatically jump to the conclusion that you might have killed a third, is it?
That is true, and it doesn't seem like there's any leads here in our direction.
I'm sure they will figure it out in the next hour.
I suppose what we ought to do then is eat our meal. I don't know what Emlyn does anymore. and by Emlyn I mean me, of course. Stock up on whatever we might need here, maybe rations, etc. It's an outpost, so I'm sure they have a little trading stall, which was mentioned earlier, was it not? And then we leave quickly.
Okay.
Or we could go with Emlyn's plan. Which is mine, of course.
I mean, just
plan?
murdering everyone.
Not that loud, of course.
I
No, thank you.
get it.
Yeah, you know, you can't help but notice the 2 people at the edge of the bar here kind of turn and look in your direction as you say that.
Yes, I wouldn't want to herd everyone in the I didn't say it that loud. Oh, let's just move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably only the fact that those two are directly behind you and there's barely enough room to walk between you that they heard it. So,
I'm just gonna say, that your jokes are that bad though. We can't. You're not a bard. It's not your job.
after cutting you a few strange looks, they turn back to their food.
We still don't have directions to this hollow,
So maybe we aren't in a close enough town where they'd know.
perhaps.
We still have a heading. It's not the sharpest arrow to point, but might get us closer to where we'll know more. And when we're out at the trading post, maybe they have a map or something.
Ah. Okay.
Not that I'm saying anything about yours, Tolga. They're very fine.
I was trying to hold my tongue.
I could feel it from here.
Alright. So we eat our meal in peace as we watch those people search for the body.
Well, right now they're all kind of, in a quiet conversation, all whispering amongst themselves. Periodically they glance in your direction, but they don't seem to have you as their main focus.
Okay. Sounds good.
The sooner we leave, the sooner we don't have to deal with that. I'm worried that if they happen to leave here and notice our little goat outside, it might cause some problems, especially the one in white.
Right.
Yes, let us go.
Okay.
We don't want to
Yeah.
appear suspicious, is the thing.
Well, we asked our questions. They didn't know the answer, so obviously we're going to move on. We can't just
We were just
nothing.
gifted a free meal for our...
I will go say thank you.
yes.
You go get what you need. I'll stay back and
Get some rations on his tab as well.
I don't.
Just... We're trying to maintain as low of a profile as we can after all of that. Yes.
Now you want to maintain a low profile.
I have this whole time. Now the thing is, a profile is extremely low if there's no profile to be had. I was just entertaining the idea, so I've never thought it that way. And it is a pretty small town.
Well, yes, I can again thank my friend over there, and you can scurry along and get what you need. Get ready to.
Maybe give them a little bit of a tip or something, just something subtle that'll get them in the right direction, but make it not seem like we had the idea. Like leave no stone unturned might make them look at the ground, eh?
Oh, sure, I can give them a hint, I guess.
But not straightforward. Don't
Yes.
say anything that would give it away.
What, you think I'm Tolga? Is that what you think?
Leave no floorboard unturned.
But that's a little bit too forward.
Yes, I have a little. I
Leave
do
no
have a little.
floorboard upstairs unturned.
I'm not
In the second room on the right.
I'm not doubting your capacity. I'm just making sure our bases are covered at this point because I realize that this group is, without Emlyn's constant worrying, a little unmanaged.
Well, if you want, I could become the de facto leader of the group.
I thought I had become the de facto leader.
Do you
I've
know what
always
de
been the
facto
leader.
means?
No.
We follow you because, well,
You're the biggest one.
we have to.
Right, you do have to.
But right now we have an overly logical strategist without any gauge for what might be best in our interest versus... He seems very single-minded, I guess.
Well,
It's going to
run
be hard.
along. Get your things.
Right. Find a place a little less conspicuous. I found him standing under a tree, staring off into space, like it's not going to attract any attention. He would have gotten less if he just wamped over by the animals and started eating the grass. I'll be back. I'm just gonna... Well, I'll meet you outside, rather.
Tolga, are you going to go with her?
Nope.
I'm gonna
Okay,
take the
what-
bread with me.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to watch you talk to them just in case you need backup.
Thank you. So you'll sit right here then?
I sure
Okay.
sure will.
Oh, go ahead.
When Kyla exits, Emmeline's still by the shuttered window staring into the shutters.
Staring at the wood.
Yeah, she's still staring there. Like you can see through them, but you can't. And I'm just gonna turn and look at Kyla.
Well, is your ghostly gaze still on? Because I guess technically you could.
No, it only
That
lasts
only
like
lasted a minute,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, now I'm going to break off a very small part of the bread and give it to Emmeline and just say, just hold it. It'll help with the disguise.
I do. I just hold it.
A man
come
holding
along.
bread is way more, less conspicuous than a man without bread, for sure.
My theory on that is he's got a cloak on that's got holes and blood all over it. Sure, he washed it a little bit. He's got another cloak wrapped around his head. If he's holding bread, at least he's just dumb. Like, not just like terribly weird. Like, he's just an idiot. Like, oh, he eats. Okay, he's human. Enough.
Right, okay.
That was my thinking anyway.
Alright.
That's good thought. Good thought.
If I saw someone
Athelonius.
holding bread, I'd be immediately less suspicious.
I get it.
Orochiono, resub 35 months. Thank you for that, my friend. Much love.
Hey,
Take your pants off and slap some hyperbout.
thanks, dude.
Alright, okay, Thelonious, so you're gonna, leaving Tolgar in the corner,
Yes.
head over to the table with the three individuals.
Yeah, so I'm going to walk up and just
As you start walking up, immediately you see the woman, she's like... non-subtly bangs on the table and points in your direction so that they all stop and look over at you.
I wasn't sneaking up on you. I was just coming over to say how lovely our meal was. Thank you so much for taking care of it.
It's my pleasure under the circumstances. Thank you for the information. Once things quieten down here a little bit, we're going to have a thorough search.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You're not... Are you staying this evening?
No, we are going to take off
fair
in
enough.
search of what we're looking for still, as we do not have any sort of heading as more than we did before we came in
Okay,
here.
good. From what I understand, only one room is actually being booked for this evening, and I'm going to make sure that they vacate the room while we give it a quick search, and then, of course, we'll have free roam of the rest of the tavern.
Is someone important in the room?
I don't know. The innkeeper just said, when we subtly asked him, he said one room was occupied and that was it.
Oh, have you not? Okay. As I was cowering behind the tree when my friends encountered these robed figures you're looking for,
You saw them too, did you?
No, I did not see them. As again, I did not want to get too close, but I did overhear them say one phrase that stood out to me in particular. Hopefully, it could possibly be of use to you.
Oh, yes, please, pray tell. Tell me
yeah.
what you heard.
They, and I believe Tolgar actually alluded to it before. I believe he said something along the lines of, there's a present waiting for you.
Well, I doubt it was specifically meant for us.
Well, for someone. They
Yes,
use the word
yes.
present, and when you think of a present, you think of something being wrapped or concealed. Maybe they meant it in the sense of you need to open something up or look in something. I assume they wouldn't just leave it out.
Oh, no.
but,
I'm in complete agreement. I'm expecting to either find him cunningly tucked away or more sinisterly maybe put somewhere in a very grotesque manner.
yes,
Perhaps we'll find him beheaded or eviscerated or something quite disgusting.
Could be any or all of those options. Who knows what they have done? But I just wanted to repay your kindness by saying just my parting thoughts. Hopefully it can point you in the right direction.
Oh, well, any information at all is helpful. We were just merely passing through here a couple of days ago when we heard here recently about the poor murders So we're actually was more interested in finding out what happened to the family. We were sticking around because we were actually thinking the magistrate was coming here. And then, of course, when your friend enlightened us to the fact that he had himself been murdered, well, now, of course, this becomes something that we need to worry about.
Where are you from?
I myself, I come from, the capital city of Iridian.
Are you just passing through?
Well, no, actually, we're a, I don't really like to label us as such, but, we're a group of friends that, find mischief and, try to upend it.
That sounds a lot like what we do as well.
Oh, well...
I'm glad we could. I knew there was something about you that I liked as soon as I saw you come down the stairs. There's a brightness, an air about you that's connected.
Seeing as we're having an accord, do you mind if I ask you a quick question? Says the fellow in the far corner.
Sure. I'm not talking to my friend here, but I guess you can intervene. What may I do for?
If it's any trouble,
No, please. We're all friends here. Excuse me, I apologize.
Am I to believe that you yourself are possibly, au fait with the arcane arts?
Well, I like to dabble here and there. I of course, an old man, so I'm not going to be doing anything too magnificent, but...
Yes, you may... it looks like you're probably, in your late 50s, perhaps.
Oh, you flatter me, sir. Thank you. Yeah, that is close enough.
When did you start studying? And the real question that I really want to ask you is, do you find that you glean knowledge from tomes and books, or does the magic just seem to flow within inside you and you just have to let it out?
Well, that is a very complex question. I started at a young age. I had a knack, an affinity for the arcane arts ever since I was young. It's just something that I took to quite easily, and I had a master who wanted to see me grow in the right direction. And unfortunately, he and I saw two different paths to take. Needless to say, I thought my path was better than his. He thought his path was better than mine. He thought he was the master. He thought he was better than me. It was just a difference of opinion, so to speak. So I went my own way after, and I had a sort of thirst for knowledge. While I do feel that the magic does in fact flow from within me, I do find myself drawn to trinkets or tomes or items that do have a magical power that I could use to enhance my own just natural ability. I also use them as actually I had this discussion before with a colleague of mine. I use them as tools more than...
Would you like to sit down?
Sure. I mean, we must be on our way quickly, but just for a moment, if you don't mind the ramblings of an old man.
Oh, no, I'm rather interested. You see, myself, I've had recent discussions with other folk of the arcane arts, and they seem to favour study of books and learning and studying incantations and things of you containing algorithms and arcane scriptures and things. Whereas I myself have found that I learn little from such things, but by focusing my mind, I am able to manifest magics in a variety of different ways.
How so?
Well, when I was, as you mentioned, when you were young, you found an interest. When I was young, I almost burned my house down by mistake. I found that when I become very angry, and I could feel the temper rise up inside me, flames would appear in my hands. And you'll understand, after years and years of practice and study, I have managed to find a way to control this. Now I specialize more in, Well, other things. I try not to focus quite so much on the fire, although, and there are many times when it has been very beneficial. No, I found that, I tend to focus more on controlling the thoughts of others and, being able to read those thoughts and manipulate those thoughts and things like that.
Sort of what you did to my friend earlier. Yeah, that is sort of your specialty, as it were.
To a degree, yes. I merely was able to reach in and juggle the memories around until the appropriate one fell out. I think that's how I describe it.
What do you use? Give me an example of when you would use this power of yours. For what? To what end?
Well, typically, as Sir Merrin here mentioned, we travel around and try to help undo wrongs and punish the wicked, as it were. And I find that it is quite a useful tool in getting people to tell the truth and own up to things that they have done.
Yes, I too do have the ability to do that, although it is not. It is more of a persuasion, more of a coaxing, instead of just bending people to my will.
I do similar things. I also find that I can create patterns in the air of glowing lights that seem to draw people to them and almost hypnotize them, as it were, and they become stagnant and they just stand there and do nothing. Very useful to defend yourself with.
Well, it just sounds like we have two school of thoughts on how to go about manipulating things and people around us.
I've always found it interesting. People such as myself, people refer to it as sorcery, although I prefer to use it as natural magical aptitude. And then I know that they fling the word wizard around, but who doesn't? Anybody that so much as snaps his fingers and a rabbit appears, oh, he's a wizard! And you and I both know that there's a fine difference between a trickster or a magician than somebody who actually can control the magics.
Absolutely. A magician is cheap parlor tricks, and we, of course, are something much greater than that. I do hate to cut this short, but my friends are waiting for me outside.
No, not at all.
Great. Again, thank you all for your hospitality, and I'm going to turn to the girl with the whip and say, and again, I do apologize if my friend insulted you in any way. We were just, again, looking for some direction. That is all.
Yes, I understand.
All right, a ray of sunshine you are. All right, well, you keep that. You keep that up. Thank you. I bid you all adieu and good luck with your search for the Magistrate and the ne'er-do-wells who perhaps befooled him.
Well, we very much appreciate your assistance, and perhaps our paths will cross again.
I hope so. I do hope so. May Palor be with you, sir.
And with you. May the rays of his radiant sun bathe you.
Thank you.
And destroy the vile undead that's with you.
No, you don't know anything about that. And I'll say, all right, Tolga, let's go.
All right, okay. So you exit the tavern. By now, it's getting quite dark outside. So, do you guys want to just kind of make your way down the road and depart from Halsey Outpost, or
So
I was gonna stock up on while that's going on, I was gonna see if I could get a quick stock up on rations.
all right. Yeah, I mean you'll have to buy them from the tavern because there's nowhere else in town.
Oh, that's
currently...
the right place with them. Okay.
Well, it is, except it depends. Because you do recall that there was a general store, but it was the family that ran the general store are all dead now, so probably isn't open.
Which house was that?
They didn't specify, but hey, if that's a thought that you want to pursue, you can do so next Monday, because that will be the end of the show for tonight. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up there. We're at 10:30. Actually, we're at 10. Hi there, I'm Gorbad. Welcome to the Orc's Nest. I'm the Dungeon Master here on How We Roll, and if you'd like to follow me personally, you can do so on Twitter at Gorbad. Check out thedmblog.com for all things Dungeon Master and Dungeons and Dragons related. And of course, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Gorbad. Also, guys, don't forget to keep up with all things How We Roll. Follow us on Twitter at How We Roll. Check out the website www.howweroll.com, and make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. Cheers, guys.
Hi, I'm the Satchmo. I speak for the trees. Thank you for watching How We Roll. If you want to see some more of me, you can follow me on Twitch and Twitter at Satchmo. If not, I guess I'll just see you next episode. I love you. Take care.
What's up, you guys? It's the Snuggler here, and I am back for my second How We Roll campaign. I've been given some guidelines. One is to not name the character that I'm playing. Of course, probably going to kill my character at some point. And two is to keep this as short as possible. Jane is just so lazy. So with that being said, so happy to be on my second campaign for How We Roll. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so at MattySweetTweet. That's pretty much all I use. So check you there. If not, I'm always here playing for you guys.
Shagget here. I play a character on How We Roll. I'm not going to tell you who I play because if they die, I'm going to have to redo it. Already done it once, never again. Follow me on Twitter at Aneb_Convos, and I'll see you guys on How We Roll.
Hi, Jane here. You may have seen me in such films as Rise of the Fallen or Lyra vs. Legend. Thanks for watching! You can follow me on Twitter at Jane on Twitch. That's with a 0, not no. Anyway, I gotta go. The cats. Peace, suckers!